Hey guys, welcome back to the CuléPodcast. Welcome back to another video. On today's video, guys, I'm going to be giving you an update in regards to the Vitor Roque situation. Is he going to be heading to Palmeiras? Yes or no? What is the latest in regards to that? And as well, I want to give you guys some positive news in regards to Andres Christensen, as he has received the medical green light. And then as well, towards the end of the video, I do want to be talking about Gerard Piqué because he spoke about a variety of Barcelona topics. But guys, as always, make sure to follow me all my social media platforms. Everything is posted down below in the description. Go over there and check me out. That way you can stay up to date with everything that I do on the channel. But guys, let's start with the video. All right, guys, let's get started with the video and let's talk about Vitor Roque, a player whose future was a little bit uncertain as La Liga, they have blocked his move and talks were apparently broken down between Vitor Roque and Palmeiras, but that has completely changed. It has completely done a 180 and Vitor Roque will now be a Palmeiras player. Only thing that's remaining is the official announcement. Barcelona, they will receive 25.5 million euros fixed plus 5 million euros in variables. This is because Barcelona, they have received the approval of both UEFA and FIFA, and as well as the Spanish Federation. They've all given the green light for this operation, and thus Barcelona, they have the green light to continue the negotiations, even though La Liga and Tabas, they are not in agreement. And the only thing that is remaining before everything becomes official is for Barcelona to reach an agreement to terminate Vitor Roque's loan contract deal with Betis, and then he will be heading to Brazil. And looking at the transfer amount, looking at how much money that Barcelona they are going to be getting, it's basically Barcelona basically recuperating the amount of money that we did spend for his signature in the first place. We spent 30 million euros fixed and then 30 million euros in variables. A lot of those variables are now going to be fulfilled, and so Barcelona, they're not going to be paying that. So we are going to be recuperating most of the money. And in regards to Roque, we talked about this in our Monday episode. Is his transfer, is it a failure? I wouldn't necessarily call it a failure, but it was very disappointing. He came with some very different expectations. He didn't play a lot of football, and he didn't have much impact in Barcelona. And this is just one of those deals that when you look back on it with hindsight, should have never happened. Deco will be learning about that, and from then on, Barcelona, they just have to be understanding that, hey, not every single transfer is going to work. And of course, we wish Roque all the very best. Hopefully, he is able to have a successful career in Brazil. And who knows, maybe down the line, he can return to Europe as a completely developed and a mature player. But we'll see. But now, guys, I want to be talking about Andres Christensen because Andres Christensen, we have good news. He has received the medical green light and he will be involved in the squad. This is absolutely fantastic as Christensen, he is a very reliable player to have in the squad. He has been injured for the majority of the season. He was fit around January, but then he picked up another injury that kept him out for a little bit of time until today, which he did receive the medical green light, and hopefully we can see him involved in action very, very soon. Barcelona, with the amount of matches that we're going to be playing in these next upcoming weeks, we're going to need as many players and as much personnel to handle all of that workload. Andres Christensen, who can play both in midfield and in that pivot role. We did see Hansi Flick experiment with Christensen in that role at the start of the season, or as well in the base of the defense alongside either Pau Cuarci or Inigo. Either or would work, and we're going to be seeing that very, very soon. Hopefully, maybe even against Real Sociedad in Barcelona's next game. Unlikely. He most likely will be getting 5 to 10 minutes, but if not, later down the month. But now, guys, I want to be moving on. And I want to be talking about Piqué because Piqué, he had an interview and he spoke about a variety of Barcelona topics. He's talked about, his career there. He talked about La Masia players. He talked about his potential run for presidency. And in regards to that presidency, he says, I've been asked many times, but I can say it has its pros and cons. Being Barca president is a bigger sacrifice than what it can give you in terms of positive things. The sacrifices outweigh the benefits. And this is absolutely true. Because if you are successful, you're going to have your name etched in the history of Barcelona. but it's a very stressful job. A ton of people are going to be super critical. You're at Barcelona, the biggest club in the world. Tons and tons of fans are going to be looking at every single detail that you do. The media as well. It's a job that's going to be asking a lot out of you. And if you're not already, then it's going to eat you alive. Gerard Piqué, he continues on. He says, I don't have to be the Barca president, but then I think, damn, if one day the club needs the people who've been involved since childhood, it's my responsibility to be there. He says, I have this internal conflict regarding the Barca presidency. If I think coldly, logically, it's not worth it. But maybe another time. It depends on a lot of factors. You never know. And right there, he never closes the door on a potential, run to the Barcelona presidency. And he ended off by saying, Barcelona, they have given me everything. We are who we are because of the club we belong to. And, one thing that I will never question from Gerard Piqué is his love for the club. He is absolutely a diehard Barcelona fan. He wants the club to be successful. Whether he would be the right man to be the president of Barcelona, that's a whole different discussion. But he never closes the door. And would you guys be interested to see a Gerard Piqué presidency at the club? But moving on, he talks about Real Madrid. He says, many people consider Real Madrid the best in history, but Barca are better in other ways, and it makes me proud. Real Madrid have won so many titles, but no one will remember the way they played. And I love Gerard Piqué for saying that, man, because he's like the number one Real Madrid hater, and I completely agree with that sentiment. A lot of people doubt, or a lot of people, praise Real Madrid for the amount of titles, the amount of UCLs they won. But when you look back at the history of Barcelona, the many players who played for us who are all-timers, world-class, fantastic players in the world of football. But when you look at the style of play, when you look at the memories created from Barcelona, when you think about the greatest club team of all time, there's only a couple of teams that come to mind. And Barcelona, they are in there. They are involved in that conversation. And the best football that has been played was from Barcelona under Pep Guardiola, with stars such as Busquets, such as Messi, such as Xavi, Iniesta, Piqué, Puyol, all of those type of players. They created such a rich history from Barcelona, and I completely agree with Gerard Piqué right there. Now he talks about his decision to leave Barcelona, and it says, I always thought that when I lost my starting place, I would leave the club of my life. I did not want to become a burden. I had already done everything and won everything. We have to make small changes in football to make it more entertaining. Neither team should get should get points after a 0-0 draw. Nobody wants to spend the price of a ticket to watch that. Okay, well, so right there he said something controversial in regards to the world of football. I want to know your guys' opinions in regards to that. Whether teams should be getting points for a draw. I think that would change the landscape of football. But I want to go back to that quote in regards to his decision to leave the club, and it was coming. When Gerard Piqué, he decided to retire, that was, I would say, Xavi's first full season when we won La Liga, we won the Supercopa de España. Barcelona in that era, you had the fantastic meme or whatever, like the, what's the superhero name? What's it called? It's the guy from Doctor Strange. It was basically like the Doctor Strange meme when Barcelona, we played Inter at home, and then you had Lautaro completely bully Barcelona. But ever since then, you saw that the football left Gerard Piqué, and he was just mentally gone. And since then, he's enjoyed retirement. He's had a very, very good time. He continues on. He says, Barcelona, they gave me everything. If I played for Getafe, Espanyol, or Atleti, I would be a different person today. The club gave me everything, a global reputation and international influence that no company in the world could ever give me. And in regards to that, Barcelona is the biggest club in the world, guys. When you think about, the historic performances and the trophies and success that Piqué gets, he's going to be remembered in the memories of every single Barcelona fan for many, many more years. Even though, like, Gerard Piqué, I would say his latter years of Barcelona, they really damaged his legacy, because when we think about it, Gerard Piqué was one of the best center backs of the generation, arguably the best center back. He was up there with Ramos, Chiellini, and those type of players. Thiago Silva, for example. They always give you like a safety in that back line, and you always see that love for the club from Piqué. And he says, my grandfather gave me my Barca member card before I even had an ID. I owe a lot to this club, and if I ever see they're in need, I will always be there for them. And that's representative of the love that he has for the club. He says, the thing that makes makes me the most proud of my career is that I lived my dream to the fullest. I played for the club I loved since I was a child and enjoyed every single moment. In my career, I had the passion, the drive. I think I gave it my best, the best way I could. He says, now that I've retired, I want to continue working on projects that I love. I want to contribute to the development of football in my own way. I lived a great career without any regrets. For me, that is true success. And right there, Gerard Piqué, he gave you some insight into what his thoughts on his Barcelona career was. And it's a fantastic and extremely successful career. He's won every trophy there is to win in football. He won the World Cup, Champions League, La Liga, Copa del Rey, Euros. He did everything you can as a professional footballer. He played at the highest level for so many years, and the success that he gained, it's representative of the quality that he did have. And Piqué, a legend of the club, we absolutely wish him the best in retirement. And he continues on. He talks about La Masia, and he says, I know Lamine Yamal and his personality is incredible. He's a star, but if he was part of our generation, would he have played? I don't know. And that is extremely eye-opening, because he continues on and he says, players like Cuarsi, Balde, Gavi, would they have had a chance to play in our generation? I don't know. I think they play out of necessity, not because there is real confidence in them. But he does say La Masia will always remain an incredible source of talent. It's part of Barcelona's identity and style of play. I think Barcelona is well covered sportingly and have the potential to win many titles in the coming years. And I want to have this debate with you guys right now, because right here, Gerard Piqué, he says something very controversial in regards to, those players. He says, Lamine Yamal, Cuarsi, Balde, and Gavi. Would these players actually play, in that golden generation? And honestly, guys, I'm going to agree here with Piqué. I know that Lamine Yamal is absolutely fantastic, but Barcelona, they had some absolutely all-timers and GOATs. Lamine Yamal is not playing ahead of Messi. Lamine Yamal, I don't think, is playing over Thierry Henry or Eto'o or David Villa or Pedro, for example. Even though I would say maybe Lamine Yamal has more talent, but at the same time, or even in the midfield, you're looking at Xavi, Busquets, Iniesta, the greatest midfield of all time. There's no shot that Gavi gets into that midfield. Pau Cuarsi, you could make an argument, but Puyol and Piqué, bro, they were so solid. And, people say Cuarsi is the next Piqué. He's the replacement for Piqué. And, this is not a bash on those players, because those guys are extremely, extremely talented. But that's just a reflection of how good that Barcelona team was. That's the greatest club team of all time, guys. But I want to know your guys' opinions. Do you guys differ with my opinion? I sort of agree right there with Piqué. I think that they would play a big portion of the matches. But I would say that I don't think that they start ahead of those legends. I don't think that, for example, Balde would start ahead of Jordi Alba. He wouldn't start ahead of of Piqué. Gavi wouldn't play his foot in that midfield. I think Lamine Yamal would be coming onto the pitch every single match. But you had monsters in that front line. You had your Lionel Messi's, your Eto'os, your Thierry Henry's, your David Villa's, your Pedro's, and even then when you go into MSN, your Suarez, your Neymar's, it was an extremely competitive. And whether they would have been able to play, that is the question. But I want to know your guys' opinions in regards to that. But guys, that was it for the Barcelona news of the day. Definitely let me know your guys' thoughts on everything I've discussed on today's video. I have talked a lot. And so what do you guys make of Roque? The deal apparently seemingly going through. And as well, Christensen getting the green light, and Piqué talking about a variety of Barcelona topics. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. And as always, guys, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment. I'll see you guys all in the next video. Peace out, guys.